Michael Torchia. I'm so happy to have you today.
I'm so excited to be here.
This is great. Thank you for coming, honey.
Oh, thanks for the invite.
Well, God, you've got so much going on. How could I not invite you? I mean, health and fitness guru. Now you've got this insane campaign.
It's great. It's called the President's Council of Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition.
And nutrition.
And basically, John F. Kennedy started this. He was the one that started this. PE in school was John F. Kennedy's idea and program.
Well,
That's how far back it goes.
Doesn't surprise me because I'm a huge fan, as most people know. Tell me a little bit about the campaign.
Well, I learned through Bob Kennedy that you have to campaign for a position as an advisor for the council. So he's had me submit my formal letter to Susie Wiles, which is President Trump's chief of staff, my plan for the council, everything I'd like to do in the schools, the cafeterias, bring in mental wellness as a major part of this program, not just the physicality. So children are prepared for life, but also there's a lot of psychological issues that children deal with that need to be addressed. So it's not problematic later on in life. So I went through the formal submission. Now I'm doing my campaigning, just like a politician. That's how it works, unfortunately, but I'm doing it. And I'm doing for the next month or so all these different events, which include me getting a park here in California and busing in kids from Caleb Youth. These are children from 13 to 19 years old that are inner city kids. They've never been out exercising like this or playing sports because they don't have that. So I'm going to give them a day of health and wellness. And the reason I'm doing this is I want the council to encourage towns and cities around the United States to do these events in local parks. Get the kids out there. Get the parents out there. Get the residents out there. Embrace it. Everything I'm doing involves mental wellness, resilience. We have to because there's so many psychological health issues today.
It's incredible. Do you think it's because the world is just moving at such a faster pace?
Well, it's that too, but also look what happened with COVID. They were controlling us.
Of course they were.
And then Fauci was making up things like stay this many feet apart from each other. And they asked him in Congress, how'd you come up with it? He goes, no, it just sounded good. Everything wasn't scientific proven. And we were getting locked down. Here's the thing is, when you lock down people, not only do they get depressed, but their body starts to break down. Your muscles start breaking down after 72 hours if you don't exercise.
So you're saying atrophy? We atrophy?
You started to atrophy. Then also what happens is when you're regularly exercising, you're stimulating endorphins. Now you're not stimulating endorphins. So now you start secreting the hormones that create depression. That's a hormone secretion in your body that creates depression. Okay. So what happens is when they shut us down, everybody was like not exercising. They didn't feel good about themselves. They couldn't even get a haircut. They couldn't get a massage.
Isolation.
Right. So what happened? Look at all the suicides. Did you know in the fitness industry, every week there were 4 to 6 athletes committing suicide?
I do.
It was horrible.
I do.
They were lost because every day was the gym to them.
And
the body was their temple. And all of a sudden they had to stay home.
Right. People like you and I were fortunate because we could always go outside and we could enjoy, we could take advantage of nature. But imagine being locked up in a city.
Remember when they shut down us not even be able to go for a walk.
Oh,
You
I
can't
was
ride
scaling.
your bike.
I was scaling walls.
I was too.
I was scaling walls. There was no way I was letting them keep me down.
No, I was just very careful when I would go out. I'd wait later on at night when it's cooler and nobody's around. I had an incredible gym in my home.
Right.
So I was pumping on. I was doing my cardio. I was stretching. I was doing all my things. So I was continually making sure my body was strong. My confidence was more powerful than ever. I wasn't going to let that bring me down. So that's why in these programs, what we do at the school and with all the military bases I'm going to, is to make sure mental wellness is an important part of it. Strong mind, strong body.
Let's talk about the military. Your military. What you're working on there, because I think that's pretty fascinating. It's also an incredible gig. I mean, the fact that you were called on to do that is extraordinary.
Yeah, thank you. I was contacted by a colonel from a base, Army base, and he said, Mr. Torchia, we're averaging 4 to 6 soldiers a month committing suicide. And most of the time it's either drugs or alcohol or both. And he started explaining to me what it's like when you join the military. A lot of people don't know this, but when you sign that piece of paper to join any armed forces, Marines, Navy, Air Force, whatever it is, you now are the property of the United States government. You have no rights anymore. That's why when there's any issues on the base, you can't just go, well, someone harmed me or hit me, whatever. You can't go to law enforcement. They have no rights in it because the government.
So is there a loss of self?
Yes, because what happens is they lose their identity. And sometimes they'll, like 2 o'clock in the morning, throw a bucket of water on the soldiers and say, get up now and go run for 5 miles. At any time they make sure they have to get up, they get sleep deprived, then that's when all the things start settling in. They have no control of their life anymore, and they lose their identity. Also, a lot of these bases are massive. There's one base in Texas, Fort Cavazos. It used to be Fort Hood, but they changed it to Cavazos after the shooting.
That's the one with the highest suicide rate in the country,
yes,
right?
And it's 75 acres. It's like a huge city. So most of the soldiers are either crashing their cars or getting on their motorcycle and killing themselves. That's how they're doing it, because they just want to self-destruct. They have all this pain. So what I have to understand is when I'm addressing something, I have to figure out what is the issue. So I came up with a program. It's my Operation Fitness mental wellness program and a resilience program. And what we're going to do is go to the bases for 3 days. We're going to take 20 soldiers from each brigade, and there'll be 3 brigades, and a total of 60. We are going to do all these tests, from everything from psychological, physical, everything about their body, understand everything about this person, individual interviews. We take that data with a team of experts and medical experts in various different fields, from mental wellness to physical strength, and you name it, biochemics of the body, nutrition. We do a whole evaluation on each soldier, those 60. We then provide a comprehensive prescription of how we can make this a program of these soldiers of the future.
Individually tailored, you're saying?
Then we do this prescription. It's a 3-year program. So we're just waiting for the, we've reached out for private funding, major corporations, and as soon as we have the funding in place, we're going to do the bases. We're going to try to do at least 6 to 9 bases a year.
Are these trials? Is it a trial? Pilot program.
Because with the government, you need to prove that this program does succeed. So when we do the data collection and then the prescription and we do the activation, what we will do after 3 months is show the progress. And as we do that, now it's part of a government study, which is golden.
Golden.
Right? We could take it anywhere. Now what we do is I want to bring it to law enforcement. I want to bring it to fire department, all the first responders.
Yep.
Do you know how much depression, post-traumatic syndrome, and suicides with law enforcement and fire department?
Yep.
Ambulance drivers?
I do.
Because you know why? They witness most horrific crimes and accidents.
But it's increasing, so what do you make of that? They've always witnessed it, but the numbers are going up.
Well, here's the thing is, I don't know if you know this, but the average cop, the way police officers die is usually heart attacks. And the reason why, because I've done a lot studying this with law enforcement. I've worked with law enforcement for a very long time, donating my time. And what happens is, and the sergeant first taught me about this, he goes, Michael, we have 2 officers in a vehicle. They get a code, man wielding a gun or knife or machete or something. Their heart's racing now, and they're driving incredibly fast to get there. Now their heart is pounding. They get there. Now they have to subdue the person and start even pounding even harder. Then they arrest the person, put him in the back of the vehicle, and they head back to the precinct. Now their heart is just dropping really fast, so it's forced to stop or slowly slow down from that aggressive pace. That causes micro tears, fibrous tears.
Right.
And the scarring, because this can happen every day, every few days, and eventually they have heart disease because of this frequent. So what we did with the officers was We taught them about how to be centered. A lot of things which you do, the yoga, the
Meditation.
breath work, so they can make sure that they can deal with the procedure where they have to get over and they know it's dangerous, but not elevate the heart rate so high. They can bring their heart to such a high level, and then when it's over, they know how to breathe through it and really not have the damaging effect from those incidents, because it's so frequent. And that's what's causing those micro tears. And that's why a lot of officers die of heart disease.
Yeah, it's a muscle.
Yeah. So we are going to implement that with the military, the law enforcement, the first responders, our kids program, because and Bobby Kennedy is a full supporter of mental wellness just as much as the physicality, the nutrition, and all that.
Incredible.
He's
really my hero.
Oh, he's fantastic.
What I like about what you're saying, and you've mentioned this word several times now, and I think it's really important to focus on it, is resilience. We have an entire population of children who don't even know what resilience is. Their parents aren't teaching it. They've lost, they're not tough. They don't know street smarts. They're catered to. And I think that moving forward, that's going to be very obvious in the way America runs. And part of what I think, aside from the physical resilience, mental resilience, and again, meditation, yoga, all these things that create a powerful fortitude. Because what you're doing when you're in this practice is you're strengthening your nervous system. And you're able to separate yourself from circumstance. And that's a big part of resilience. And I think it's lacking in our education, in our wellness, and I think it's gonna rear its head in the long run. And it's really important for people to listen to you. This word is not a throwaway word. It is a key word. And I'd like you to talk to me about what you would do in terms of creating a stronger, emotionally fit, healthy society, stronger constitution. We don't seem to have that anymore.
Well, that's a great question, because if you remember the Rothschild family, they're the ones that came up with the idea to create schools, because people were mainly working at factories. It was industrial time. And so schools were basically childcare. And then it became for education and so on. But when kids were going there, people had to go and work, and they wanted the kids to do something. So that's all it was. But then as it evolved, it started to go where they would have home ec, shop, skill building tools for kids to have a fruitful life and be able to resilience. What happened is then they started deleting that program and that program and that program, overloading the kids with all the academics and thinking that's all that's important. They got rid of the home ec, they got rid of the shop and many other things that really, arts and craft, things that really stimulated children's mind. And also the arts, music, plays, acting. I think every kid should always take a music course or two, acting, because that will help
expression.
Right, express themselves, understand who they are. So all those elements were first set up later on after the Rothschilds family had done that. It started evolving really beautiful. And JFK was a wonderful president, and he kept all these things in this program. It wasn't just about going to class and doing your homework, study. It was understanding, having life skills, responsibilities.
Fortitude,
right? And so that's what I want to bring back. I remember when I was in shop, we built a snowmobile, we did a dune buggy, we built all kinds of cool things. And then, in fact, I had gotten home and I had read this Popular Mechanic magazine, which was my Bible, because I like to invent things and build things. And I took a lawnmower and I created a helicopter from my sled and the lawnmower engine, and I put it together, and I saw the plans from Popular Mechanics. And my shop teacher, she worked with me to build this helicopter. And we tested it, and it really worked. It was really cool. So, and I was at 8 years old. Okay, so it brings out the creativity. So I remember my mom was telling me, she goes, Michael, yeah, you want to create all these things. She goes, here's my shoebox. Put down all these ideas and put it in the box, and then take it out of the closet once in a while and do one at a time, because I was trying to do multitask. But part of it was that I was able to use my creativity. That's what's missing today in schools. Understand they've got to do the schoolwork and all that, but give the kids career building, skill sets that they need for life, and they'll have more fun. I remember the best times I had was cooking and baking and in home ec, and watching my fellow students try the pastries I did, or the really cool.
But Michael, how do you get them off the internet? How do you get them off social media?
Well, that's an addiction, okay?
It is absolutely an addiction.
As you know, anything you do for 21 days, which the 3-week period is, you start forming neural pathways. So just like when you go to the movie theater, you always will sit in that area or that one section of that theater.
Yeah.
You go and drive to the gym or whatever it is, you're always going to take that route. So what I do is whenever I go to a movie theater, I change the seating. I make sure I don't form those patterns. I drive to the gym different ways, different places. I'll take different side streets.
Keep the brain stimulated.
Right? Because once you form those, so you can form a good habit and a bad habit in 21 days. If you continually do it every day for 21 days, because you form those neural pathways. So we have to keep that in mind. That's why when we do the PE program, every time you take a PE class, it's going to be different.
Why do you think, I mean, I have my own opinion on this, but I want to hear yours. Why do you think it's so much easier to develop bad habits than it is to develop good habits?
Well, unfortunately, with the bad habits, it's usually because it's hard work. People don't want to work hard.
There you go.
They're always looking for that shortcut.
Exactly.
I mean, look how kids today, they're using AI to write their term papers, to do, I mean, come on. You're enabling them not to. I mean, I remember I was at Bristle Farms, the market out here, and the register wasn't working. And I think I had some kind of vegetables, and it came out to like $17 and like 85 cents. So I gave the young lady a $20 bill, and she just was staring at the cash box. And I said, "What's wrong?" She goes, "I'm so used to using my calculator."
She didn't know how to.
She didn't know how to figure out the change from $20 bill, $17.85. And this was a girl in her early 20s.
Right. And this is happening with vocabulary as well, because you have ChatGPT writing. I mean, I see kids using it to write texts. Communication is, the way we communicate is really changing, and it's actually frightening, because there's no more heart to heart communication. I call it conscious communication. Right now, it's just sort of contrived or written by someone else. So there's no emotion or an energy connecting to what we're saying. And so we're sort of living in our own little stratosphere. We're like little neurons running around sort of touching on other people, but never really with that quantum entanglement.
Well, the thing is, especially if someone is dating someone,
Oh.
and they write these really romantic words, and then when they're together, you're not hearing those romantic words.
Right.
And then you're falling in love with someone that doesn't exist.
And I think that's going to actually happen.
And listen, I'm old school. I have a pen and pad in my nightstand, and when I come up with really great ideas, put the light on, and I write it down.
I do
There's something
the same.
about when you write things down. I used to love sending people, and I still do, cards. And I write nice things. Even though if I find a nice card that says really beautiful things, I always put a personal note about our friendship and how you've done so much for me, and you're such a beautiful person, happy birthday, happy anniversary, whatever it is. But people are just sending email cards. I don't do email cards.
So do you think your ability to connect, or your intention to connect with people, is what's kept you, why you have such a huge social network? I mean, you have your own podcast, and you have celebrities. I mean, it seems like you know everyone in this town.
Well, over the years, I've worked with a lot of well-known celebrities, and I've got them ready for movies, but I also got them ready for
Why don't you
life.
explain what you do with them?
Like, for instance, I'll never forget the time I got a call to worked with Al Pacino. He was getting ready for a movie called Insomnia with Robin Williams. And he said, Micah, in this scene, I have to run in the woods after Robin Williams. Well, what happened was years ago when I did the movie Heat with De Niro, there was at the front of the bank scene when he was chasing after him. He tore his hamstring off the bone. They had to shut down the production for 7 weeks. It cost them like millions of dollars. And he said, and ever since I've been dealing with this hamstring tear that never really healed right. He goes, I had 2 lovely daughters, twins with Beverly, and I want to be able to dance at their wedding. So did I not only train him for that role, but how to be physically fit so he can dance at his daughter's wedding. I've traveled with Keith Urban on his world tour.
But it seems like you try to maintain connections. I mean,
Well,
that sort of writing notes and reaching out and communication. I think that that's sort of an era gone by.
Well, you know what it is, but I actually care. See, I don't take it on as a job. I take it as a personal mission that I need to. So when I'm with the person, they know that you really care about them. Like, I do soft tissue work with my clients. Now, you could tell when someone is really doing this soft tissue and they really are focusing on getting those knots out and stimulating the circulation, loosen up the muscle, from someone going, I run back. And it's like this, like, I really go, stop.
Well, there's a heart-centered element,
Right. So when you
which is
put
essential.
your heart and soul into it. So whatever actor I worked with or athlete or whoever it may be, they understood that I really care about them. I'd follow up and call them up, how they doing. I remember one time I was at Joe Mantegna's house. Joe directs and stars in Criminal Minds.
He's great. He's fantastic.
So I was in the kitchen with him.
Seems like you know a lot of the old Italian guys.
Well, they came to me. They go, hey, Mike.
They probably felt right at home.
You know, I like to eat. I like to eat my pasta and meatballs. Can I do that and get ripped? I go, hell yeah. So it was what I did with Joe Mantegna, what I did with Al.
Well, you said hell yeah?
I said, yeah.
You can eat pasta and meatballs and...
Yeah, because let me explain what we did. I said, think about it. In the morning, okay, I know you were telling me this trainer gave you this diet, oatmeal and egg whites, and you were like, ugh. So I did this with Joe Mantegna and also Al Pacino. I said, okay, let's break this down. The oatmeal is a complex carb. Pasta is a complex carb. So let's take this carb block, switch it out, and put the pasta. Now, egg whites, protein. Okay, let's take this block out and now bring in the meatball, which is protein to substitute the egg white. Okay, now, marinara, that's vitamin C. Okay, and there's fiber in it too. So now, we're going to have every morning, you're going to have rigatonis, fresh tomato basil, and you're going to have meatballs that are baked, not fried. And I got to say, out to this day, and Joe Mantegna have that every single morning instead of their oatmeal and egg whites. Because it's the carbohydrates, the protein is exactly what they need to fuel the day. We're just swapping it out. But I'm also making sure they're not frying the meatballs so it's oversaturated with so much fat. Fat's good, but too much is not good. So I teach them how to think of it as fiber, protein, carbohydrate as blocks. And at times you can swap it out for the food you enjoy to eat.
So I'm going to take an educated guess that you are not pro-Ozempic. Not at all?
No. What people don't understand, 60% of the weight loss is atrophied muscle tissue. And the rest of the weight loss is water and fat. But mainly it's water and muscle. Because Ozempic, you lose your desire to eat food. You can go days without consuming anything. And the body needs protein because protein came from the Greek word, proteus. Proteus means, in Greek, of first importance. So when you don't take in the protein, your body is going to start eating the stored protein, which is your muscles. So when people are on Ozempic and they say, oh, I lost 50 pounds. All right, well, 30 of it was muscle.
What happens when you lose muscle? What happens to the body?
It's terrible because what happens is people get that what they call Ozempic face, Ozempic breast. The women's breasts can't become flat. Like they're 90 years old.
What does it do to the heart?
Oh, well, there's many people that had health issues from it, And what happens is when you're not consuming food, and you end up, when you're not consuming food, most of the time they're not hydrating, your electrolyte balance is off. You're not getting the minerals you need, and you get dehydrated, and you can end up having a stroke or a heart attack. So that's why you have to understand, people get so obsessed with dropping weight, they don't start to look at their body. The
But
muscles are sagging.
it doesn't
butt
seem
disappears.
like America was capable of doing it without the drug.
Again, laziness. It's
Right.
about really focusing on changing your lifestyle.
Right. Nobody
And they
wants to
want
do
this
that.
shortcut.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to take the shot, and I'll lose all this weight. And they may look great in clothes, but when the clothes come off, it's like a mudslide.
Is that true?
Do you know how many plastic surgeons I know in Beverly Hills that have to do the taking the skin, removing the saggy skin? He has people that's lost 100, 150, 200 pounds. And it's like a flap. Like, remember the movie, the series Biggest Loser? Do you know how much loose skin the surgeons have to remove? They would take 20 pounds and 30 pounds of skin because all those people lost so much weight.
They'd have to do it, though, even if the people were losing weight naturally. So that's
Well,
just...
I got asked to be a trainer on The Biggest Loser. And they wanted me. They're like, Mike, you're the guy. And this was before Jenny and Michaels and the other guy, Bobby. And they said, well, we need you to get extreme amounts of weight off of people as quickly as possible. We want you to, it has to be at least, 50 pounds a month or more. And if you get more, if you get a bonus. I said, are you kidding me? You could kill people. So I walked away from it. Said, I'm not going to compromise people's lives to get paid to get them to starve themselves and do extreme things. And as you know, there have been things that later on we learned about the show that was very bad. Health issues, heart attacks, and so on. So I make sure I keep my integrity, but the drugs is people that are lazy. They want the shortcut. They need to earn it. They want to get the weight loss off, because if you don't change your lifestyle, and you do the Ozempic, you lose weight, it's going to come right back. And studies are showing it comes right back.
I'm sure.
So your fat cells...
Shortcuts don't work, as we know.
Well, you got to think about it. Muscle cell, fat cell. It either shrinks or expands. So it's coming back.
Well, I have
if you don't go back to sensible eating.
I would love to see you on Trump's board, because I really think we need to see consciousness in politics and that whole arena. And you really are heart-centered, and you really do care. And it's not just a spiel. You've proven it your whole life. It's your life's work. And what does it take to get conscious politicians or conscious people that are leading this country? It seems like an overwhelmingly difficult task.
Well, what I'm doing is, even though I'm not on the council yet,
You're going to be.
I'm acting as I am on the council.
Right.
That's why I'm doing the events with the schools, why I'm doing the programs with the military, the law enforcement, the first responders. I'm being proactive.
How do people help you?
I actually have, as soon as I call people up, I really get people that are amazing doctors and physiologists, biochemists, engineers, and biohackers and everything. Mike, I'm in. Because they're passionate like I am.
But do you need people to write letters? Do you need people to... How does that work?
That's what I need, is the letter writing. I'm more the guy that's proactive and doing what I say I'm doing. I don't have that access to politicians that have to campaign or submit me or promote me or whatever for certain things, only because I've spent all my work on the ground, working with people. So I'm that worker bee. The council has 2 sets of advisors. 3 weeks ago, they assigned 15 pro athletes. Now, these pro athletes are never going to show up at a school. They're never even going to write a meal plan or a PE program, because they don't know how to do it. They've trained for their specific sport, and some of them have been retired for 30 years. So it's the second set of advisors, which I want to be participating in. We're the ones that are going to design the programs. We're going to make sure they're bringing back all these other things in the school curriculum to help the kids mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Meditation, breath work, needs to be into the program. So I want to roll up my sleeves, and if I have to go to Washington and bring thousands of kids on the lawn at the White House, I'll do an exercise class with all kinds of top experts to lead the way, because I don't want to be the sole person. I'm a team player. I will bring the top experts from every conditioning, from meditation like yourself and other breath work and sports training and everything, and I'd like to do something massive on the lawn of the White House.
I think it's brilliant.
And all these children come out.
I can't imagine that you wouldn't appeal to Trump. I mean, you seem right up his alley. And I have to say another thing. We're both living in Los Angeles, and I just think it's so brave of you to stand up and say, you know, I want to work with Trump. Lots of people don't have the courage or the self-confidence to do that. They pick a side and they stick to it.
But you know what I don't like, what I've gotten some feedback is there are certain groups of people that don't like Trump.
Of course.
Right? And they've come to me and say, well, how can you do this? I go, listen, this is for our children.
It's not about Trump.
Exactly.
It's not about Trump.
This is our children, our future generations, okay? You're not a fan of Trump, that's okay. This is for children. Nutrition and exercise and creating healthy lifestyle and addressing bullying and the mental illness. This is for the kids.
This is where we've gone so far
and they were
astray.
fighting with me, and I said, I want to help our children. Oh, okay. I said, I'm not looking to help Trump lose weight or get fit. He likes McDonald's. He does his golf. That's what he likes to do. This is for the children. And then all of a sudden they go, you're right.
You're right.
But I had to slap them in the face to go, put it out of your head. Stop discriminating, right? You know, what I hate is you got independents and you got Republicans and Democrats. It's just like you say, I don't like someone because they're Muslim or they're Jewish or Catholic. You're doing the same discrimination because someone belongs to a party. They have a right to believe in whatever.
It's about loving the people in this country.
I tell people all the time, how about every day show several times a day a sign of human kindness.
Yeah.
Let the person in the lane. Open the door for someone, whether man or woman. Be a gentleman. You know, do things to show people that you're just a nice human being. You're not hitting on the woman. Hold the door open. Do something nice.
It comes back.
Right?
And you don't. That's not why you're doing it, but it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, you bring kindness, and it's a boomerang.
I mean, if I'm somewhere and I'm traveling somewhere, I was taking a shuttle to get to one end of the airport, and there was one seat open, and there was this older woman. I said, please, have a seat. Not one other man got up.
And now, how about not a 16-year-old kid? How about a kid sitting in a seat?
This.
My father would have killed me. He would have killed me if I didn't stand up for an older person, especially as a child. Parents sit there and they watch their kids take a seat while an older woman is hunched over. It's unbelievable.
It's really a mess. I mean, you have parents that are vaping and smoking cannabis with their children at age 12, 14 years old now. Okay? I mean, it's changed. My father was like, your family, tough. If sometimes I was trying to figure something out and I ask him, he goes, you figure it out. Then an hour later, he come over, he goes, did you figure it out? I go, yeah. He goes, good boy. You know,
and then you have an instant sense of self-accomplishment. Right. And that's how one builds self-esteem.
You know, like when I was competing in bodybuilding, I mean, I was an obese kid. I was 50 pounds overweight at 14. I was miserable. So
is that what set you off on this journey?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I was really, well, you know, it was so funny. It's like at 14, I was exceptionally girl crazy. And my mother used to cut my hair, and I'd look like Mo from Three Stooges. And then my brother was taller than me, so I'd get his hand-me-downs, and the shirts and the pants were too long. So I remember going to the school dance, you know, and leaning against the wall, and I asked a few girls to walk by, would you like to dance? No. So I said to my mother, I said, Mom, I don't know what to do. I got to lose some weight. So then one day I got a flyer, and it had a picture of a bodybuilder on it. And And it said they had a bodybuilding program. And I said, well, if I join the program, it's why. Maybe I can get a girlfriend. She goes, okay, I just want you to be healthy. The girls will come someday. Don't worry, you're young. So she says, I got some good news. I called the YMCA. They have a program. It's $40 a year. I have in my shoebox in my closet, I have $40. Said I was going to buy a new pair of shoes. But for you, I'll do anything for you. So let's go. So she took the $40 out of the box, took me to the White Plains YMCA, signed me up. She was okay. I'm going to go to the Grand Union for about an hour. Pick you up in front. Go pump your muscles. So I go down. It was like a dungeon. I go down there and had light bulbs hanging from the wire. It was all men, big, powerful-looking men. So I'm like, wow. And I saw this guy doing curls, right? And I walk up to him and I said, excuse me, sir, is that a good exercise to build my biceps? He goes, can't you see I'm busy? Can't beat it. So then I sat at the bench. I go, oh, no, my God. Mom's going to come and get me, and I didn't even do anything. What do? I wasted her money. All of a sudden, this really big guy comes walking over. He goes, hey, kid, you want to build big muscles? I said, yeah. He said, heck with that guy. I'll show you what to do. You got a good structure. So he put me through this whole workout. His name was Frank Masello. So then when I was done, he poked me in the stomach and said, now, you better start learning how to eat better. Because the way you look with your tummy and the excess fat you have in your body, you're a human garbage pail. You need to eat healthy foods. And he started listing all these foods, right? And he said, you eat and train hard. I could tell with your structure, one day you're going to be a great champion bodybuilder. So he empowered me.
Sometimes that's right.
And I
it's
tell people,
one person who changes the course of your life.
Went a long way. And what happened? I won Teenage Mr. New York State, Teenage Mr. America, Mr. USA. I mean, I've won all these massive
I didn't
titles.
know that.
And I became a champion. But then I decided that I wanted to now do something with my skill set. And I started my personal training.
So this is crazy, but I was listening to your podcast, and this is so off topic, but do you have media training? Like, where did the gift of gab come from, or is that just natural?
Well, number one, growing up in an Italian family. On Sunday nights, we'd be on the porch, and we're talking and talking.
Just yakking up.
Yeah, talking up a storm. And then my father would take me to different jobs when I was a kid, like 8 years old, and he'd teach me how to talk to customers and write things. And so he took me on jobs.
So it sounds like everything in your life goes back to your parents and goes back to your childhood and goes back to your life and goes back to the core values that you grew up with.
Yes.
It seems to be a theme.
Now,
which would make sense why you care about the kids so much.
Well, exactly, because when I talk to kids, and especially when I'm dealing with these kids, I tell them right away. I said, I'm from the same tribe. When I was 14, I was 50 pounds overweight. I was miserable. I hate the way I looked. I would look in the mirror and grab my fat and say, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I hated myself. So I know what you're going through. All of a sudden, they go, wow, he was one of us? Oh, I just thought you were born that way, you know? And when you let people know that, you are just like them. And I know what you're going through, then they accept you. They'll be vulnerable, and they'll listen. If they just think you're just some shredded guy, you can eat a pizza and look great.
Do you remember back in the day, the Big Brother program? So that was so invaluable because not everybody had a great childhood like you, right? Not everybody has these great childhood memories. And so there's nothing to grasp onto. And that program is invaluable. They still have it, but it's a nothing burger.
It got diluted. I was a Big Brother for a while.
Were you?
I was.
Oh my God.
And it was so funny.
Yes, it makes total sense.
And these
You're
kids.
You're a giver-backer.
These kids were in shock. They were like, I said, let's go get something to eat, right? And they're like, let's go to McDonald's. I go, no. We're not going to McDonald's. I said, well, we love burgers. I said, well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to take you to a place that has great burgers, good burgers, high quality food. So I started spoiling them. Then I would take them to the park. And I had this really massive Rottweiler. And we'd do workouts with my dog. And I was really almost like an uncle to these kids, right? And they bonded. Now they got careers. They're doing great. And they write to me still. They call me.
Of course.
But I really felt like I needed to take on a position of this fun friend. But they got to respect me and understand that break away from that
respect
pattern.
is huge.
'Cause they're
And
going to
another
McDonald's, they're
thing,
going to the burger, the donut places and all that stuff. These guys were just babysitting them. I'm not babysitting. I'm preparing them for life. That's why I'm a big brother. And so I did that for many years, and then it was so funny. And then the director that was running it said, "We're doing this bachelor auction at the Regent Beverly Wilshire where they filmed."
they wanted you to be one of the bachelors.
And they had me be one of the bachelors, right? And there was David Chokichi, and it was like all these other people, like from all these different TV shows. And I said, well, gee, what am I going to have to do something really different? So I had my tuxedo on, and I had a really cool song on. And I had to do a medley of two songs that were really cool because it was mainly women there, right? And so I came out there, and I saw all these guys doing the strut, and I said, well, listen, one of my best assets is my body. So when I started doing it, I took the bow tie off, and I tossed it out.
Striptease.
And then I took one sleeve at a time, the other sleeve down, and swing, and out. And then the woman,
They were going nuts.
the director was going,
What's he doing?
So all of a sudden, the women were going crazy. And so I ended up just taking the shirt off, and I just did some really muscular poses. And they've never saw that before. I raised more money than all the other celebrities there because I said, I got to do something over the top.
But they also get to go out to dinner with you, right? So they
Yeah, and then it was so funny. And the woman, I mean, she donated a lot of money. And the date was to go to dinner at La Boheme.
La Boheme, right?
And then do like a workout with her. And she was one of the heirs to the Herbalife.
Oh.
Right?
Oh.
I mean, it was so funny. And we ended up becoming friends. And like, she let me drive her Ferrari, the Rolls Royce. We just became really good friends.
Because you were aligned anyway. She was into the health.
So I helped her with the workout and stuff. So we became friends. She donated, like I think it was like $50,000 for the Big Brothers. So it was great. Raised some money. And we just stayed friends, you know. And she knew I was cool. She knew that I was doing it for a cause, not to go, oh, I'm going to sleep with this guy for money. She was very, very sweet woman.
It seems like you build connections and you hold on to them.
I hold on to the people that are good to me. I hold on. I stay. I have friends that, God, I have friends for over.
I want to work for your campaign. I'm serious. I want to work for your campaign.
I appreciate the help.
I think you'd be great. I think you'd really make some significant changes, and I think you do them relatively quickly.
Yeah, I will. That's the one thing is I'm fast.
Right.
When I put my mind to something, my father always taught me, do it right the first time. Okay? Don't do it half-fast. Don't shoot from the hip. Plan it out. Do it right. And I'm a Virgo. So
you're organized. There you go.
I mean, I love to cook. I go in the kitchen. You can open my cabinets. You're going to see the garlic powder, the onion powder, the oregano. You're going to see all the spices all lined up center. You're going to my refrigerators. You're going to see the.
Is there a mess anywhere? An undercover mess in your bathroom drawers, in your closets?
No,
there has to be a mess.
I have one drawer in my office that I just throw shit in.
Right, and that's it.
That's my outlet.
That's
your
that
one drawer.
That's your outlet.
You'd be like, Mike, what the hell is this?
You probably know where everything is in that drawer. Anyway.
And I know exactly.
Right, exactly.
But it's so funny. I have to have that one drawer.
It's right. It's your dirty little secret.
And you know, my mother, my mother's so funny. As a kid, she said, Michael, always make your bed. And do you know in the military, that sets the pattern.
And in rehab,
yeah,
it is a big teaching.
I gotta say, I get up, that pillow's got to be fluffed, flipped over, sheets folded over nice. Then I make sure that everything in the room is, and I never leave clothes outside of the hamper. If clothes on the floor, I can't sleep. I have to get up.
We are so similar.
And so
I'm exactly the same.
When you do this repetition, you're training yourself, preparing yourself
discipline
for life.
And discipline and mental clarity. Like your room is representative of what's going on inside that mind of yours. That's why it's the first thing they do to these kids at rehab. You make your bed. And I don't care how rich you are. I don't care how many nannies are running around the house. You make your bed.
And you know what's a really funny thing? And you must see this. I can go to any gym. It could be a Gold's Gym, an LA Fitness, Equinox, whatever it is. You know how many times people leave weights out? Can't even find the damn dumbbells. They're not putting them back. And I always say to the manager, I go, I guess when they were kids, they never put the toys back in the toy box. So whenever I had toys, my mother said, put it back. Make sure always put it back. You're going to use dish, cup, clean it, put it back in the cabinet.
Do you put the cart back at the grocery store?
All the time.
Me too. It's a sign of respect.
I do so funny, like in the Bristol farms, they have those little plastic baskets with the handles. And then I saw this woman, she just threw it in there, and it's kind of like that. I had to go down there and fix it and put it right. And my mother, she started this. I remember when I was like 12 years old, we went to the Grand Union. That was the big market, like we have out here, like Ralph's. And we'd go to the meat department, and you'd see like the chicken breasts and the chicken thighs. And they were scattered like someone just went crazy. And my mother goes, look at someone made a mess. How are they going to find the breasts and the thighs? So my mother would like reorganize. And I'm 12 years old. I was a little cocky kid. I go, Ma, you want me to speak to the manager to get you a job? Because you're doing his work here, dude, you know? And my mother said, stop. When you get things to market, you take it and you put it back. Just look how bad that is. And I'll tell you, it sunk in my brain. So I was the other day at Trader Joe's, and I saw the ground meat, and then someone put the New York strip over by the ground meat, and I was straightening it back, and one of the guys came over. He goes, "Want a job?" He goes, "Because I do this shit all day." But it shows you the pattern of people. So whether you're in your gym, in a market, people have no respect. People work hard in the market. Put it back. Right?
Yeah.
But
these are the people that are still working, because most people don't even want to go to work or have a job.
Exactly.
So show some respect. Give people dignity.
I just got human kindness, please, because there's someone that has to organize this, and you're messing everything up. Sometimes I see people just grabbing something. Besides, when I go to the store, I feel the cantaloupe, make sure it's ripe. I inspect the food. Some people just grab and put it in their cart, and that's it. No. For me, when I shop with my grandmother,
it's an experience.
It is an experience.
Not for me. Not for me. This is where I do. And we're both Italian, so I should really care about the food. It's the one thing I just don't love. You can cook for me.
Well, here's the thing is, I love to do the shopping. I love to cook. I hate to clean the pots.
I love the cleaning. I love the cleaning.
Done.
Haley and I will clean for you. Right, Haley?
Right.
No, but seriously, it's like that's the one thing is like growing up a kid, my grandmother said, Miguel, you want to eat, you better learn how to cook. You know, so she taught me, she gave me a little stool because I was so short, showed me how to gently tear the basil. See, when you tear the basil, you don't squeeze all the juice out.
So you keep the...
You cut it, it's not the same thing.
You decimate it.
Right. So she taught me how to make meatballs and chicken parmesan and probably make a sauce where you put the veal, the pork, the beef.
It sounds like your family had an analogy for every life lesson, right? Yep. Cooking was an analogy for a life lesson. Your father making you figure things out was a way to teach you about life. So strong family values. I mean, it always goes back to strong family
and you know
values.
what I tell people? I have zero amount of things that I should never have done. Like people say, well, I regret this, I regret that. I have zero. The reason why is everything
brings you to the next step in life.
Is made me who I am.
Part of your journey.
Today. I don't regret it because I had to go through that, whether it was a horrible experience or good experience, because I learned from it, right? And it made me who I am today.
Well, you seem like you were a good boy. It doesn't seem like you ever went too far off.
Nah. I was a good boy.
I went really far off.
I was the black sheep of the family, you know. I was like always getting in trouble, slamming the door, breaking the window, or I forgot my key, and
But boy shit.
You're
doing boy shit. Stupid boy
stuff,
shit.
you know. Nothing where it was horrible things.
I did. I went dark, and that's why I guess I hit emotional rock bottom. And so the only way for me was up, and I could either embrace life and spirituality, which I did, or I could have stayed in that place where I was. And I think it's so important for people to know that you can change your path. Like you said, It is whatever you're doing is just a prong on that ladder.
It is. It's so
and
true.
it takes you to the next step. And what you do on the next step is up to you.
And like what you do with the yoga, the meditation, the breath work, it helps you reset. like rebooting your computer.
It's my nervous system.
Right?
It has totally changed.
It's essential. And I got to say, and you have lovely dogs and your turtle's adorable. Animals to me is a major part of my life. I love animals. I grew up on a farm. We had the cattle, the goats, the pigs, the ducks. Get up every morning, my mother had to go get the eggs. My father wanted a salad. He goes, go out with the basket and get the fresh vegetables, And so everything was fresh. But the animals were my friends. I could name every duck, every goose, every pig, every lamb, every horse had their names. And when I'd come home from school, I'd walk down the driveway because we had a big farm, and they'd hear the bus, and the horse would be kicking up in the air, and the ducks and the geese are honking away. My mother said, go change your clothes and go feed your friends, because she knew my friends.
That's how I am.
And so animals are a major part of my life.
They also change our perspective. They help us. They heal us.
And when I hear someone say, oh, a dog, I'm like, that's not anybody I want to know. Because if you can't be sympathetic and loving to a beautiful soul like that, do you know, like, when you're around your pet, whether it's a cat or dog, your body secretes a love hormone called oxytocin.
It does.
And that love that they give you and the look in their eyes when you first walk in the door is unconditional love. And it creates an effect on them and you.
Right, and they slow your heart. Your heart rate catches up to theirs. They can slow you down. They can calm down your anxiety. This is why, there have been numerous articles written on this. We buy our animals. We know that we're going to outlive them. We go through the pain of loss, and we repeat the cycle.
But you know what? I have 2 pit bulls. I got to say, they are my children. I give them everything. Yeah. I cook for them. They're not getting anything out of a box or a can or a bag. Daddy's making it, right? And it's with love, and I make sure it's balanced. They have the yam, and they have the salmon, and they have the broccoli, and I mix up the different proteins and the vegetables and the carbs, and they're so healthy, and they're happy. And I got this really beautiful backyard. I always run around, rolling around in the grass, chasing the squirrels and the possums, raccoons. They chase them at night, But now they kind of get along. They love the owl. When the owl starts hooting, they just look up at me and turn and look at me, look at the owl, because they're intrigued by it.
Yeah.
It's like when I came in your home.
Well, it's your own little ecosystem that you've created. It's your own little environment.
Like Dr. Doolittle. Squirrels, they eat out of my hand. I always learn now. I keep it open like that because I remember I had it to my finger. The little baby squirrel bit it many years ago. So I put it right here. Like
so they come into the sound. I took a video today, which I'm going to show you later, of a squirrel right outside my window, and it looked at me, and it started wagging its tail like a dog. It was happy. It never ran away. It just went.
I like when they whip their tail. Yeah, they're communicating, right?
They're communicating.
And then I saw this van. And this guy was driving around. It was a van where it's like a exterminator. And I walked up. I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I heard there's a lot of squirrels here." I said, "Yeah, get the hell off my street."
Do they do that?
Yeah, no, because they go on doors and they put slips like they exterminate. You want to kill the little baby squirrel?
Why? What? Are they?
They drive around these vans. It's like Terminex, whatever. I chased the guy from my street. I said, "I don't want to see on my block. We love our squirrels."
Oh, I had no idea.
They were like driving by, put on the.
But squirrels aren't a nuisance, are they?
Oh well, there are a lot of people that don't believe me. Their neighbor up. Go look at that. You have old people all pissed off. Oh, they're rats. They're this and that. They're beautiful animals. They're not bothering you.
I didn't know that.
They're beautiful.
They're beautiful.
Right? They're so pretty. They make that noise, that tail whipping.
And in California, they're so big and chunky, and they look so adorable. They look like, they're great.
And it's just like, you do that for
nothing.
Nature.
We shouldn't kill anything.
I love seeing my squirrels jumping around. And
we should really do our best as human beings, as supreme intelligence, if we are that, really to try not to kill anything.
Oh, please.
Like, there's just enough. Like, except a mosquito every now and then. But really, let life thrive.
Listen, it's so funny. I'm even letting catch a spider, put it outside.
Oh, so do we.
When I was a kid, I used to squash them.
I don't. Yeah, of course. Those are different days.
The fly too. The fly comes in. I open the window. I'm shooting it.
So do we. That is the rule in this house.
There's something about it though that it does to us. A chemical reaction when you're allowing something to continue life.
Of
when
course.
you're killing it, it affects you in a negative way.
Well, it's also there's a karmic response to that. There's an energy around that.
And then also I make sure I don't watch the news before I go to bed.
I never watch it. After
It's
COVID, I
terrible.
stopped watching
It's programming you, and then
it. It's all bullshit.
Subconsciously, it's going to keep replaying it like a bad movie.
I do not watch the news. I'll read Substack and I'll listen to really interesting podcasts, but no more. COVID was the end of it. When I saw the propaganda, I said to myself, "What am I doing?" There's just not. It's all fake news.
And the content, I was like, during COVID, I go, all these movies suck. I went through everything from Amazon, all the shows. They had no content. It was just terrible, terrible stuff. And so during that time, then we had that strike and all that other stuff. So content, I was watching less TV because I was like, there's nothing I want to watch. Yeah. So, which was a good thing. But I always feel that people have to have a proper balance. Get outside. Do things. Be active. Go see a play. Go to a museum. Go to a gallery. Expand your horizon, right? Listen to different music. I do that all the time. I love classical. I love rock and roll. I like jazz. I like blues. Certain things that I'm not crazy about. But I like being diverse. Give my mind something different to listen to.
Expansion. So this is fun. I like sitting and talking. It's nice when you have a friend sitting across from you.
Yeah, and think so much alike. It's a beautiful thing. But we're only doing what everybody else should be doing. Caring, wanting to help others.
It's so obvious. It's so basic.
Because
and it costs no money.
And you know what's so wild? Sometimes, like I'm walking in the street, and people are like, Night of the Living Dead. They're like walking, like no expression. And then I kind of leave, good morning. And they're like, oh, good morning.
Look at them in the eyes.
Bringing them back to reality. And sometimes I'm out of line at a bank, whatever. I'm like, how's your day going? Right? And they look at me at first, I go, I don't believe it. Every time I come here, they only have 2 tellers. Yeah, you're right. And I kind of do that.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, next.
Yep.
Think about it. You go in a bank and everybody's like this.
Tense.
Miserable.
How about the honkers? The same thing. It's like, chill out, man. Just put on a good podcast. Give yourself some extra time. And
if there's traffic, put the music on.
Those people, you get in the car in LA, they're talking. Everything is about, maybe we get off here, we'll get back on that way. Can you believe the traffic? I'm like, yeah, you live in LA. It's every day.
Yeah.
Just put on a podcast, expand your mind, listen to a book. There's so much you can do rather than complain.
Because when you're stressed out and negative, you're stimulating the cortisol levels.
Make yourself sick, and then you wonder how it happened. Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to get out there and get people healthy. And I'm going to help you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, Mike, how do people follow you? How do they tune into your channel?
Okay, so my website, operationfitness.com, has all the links so you can get to my podcast, or you can get to the various different, link tree where it has all my social media. And then also I have on my website, AI Mike. It's completely free.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about
free
this.
advice. It's my AI that I trained for the past 3 years. You can ask it for that recipe for tomato basil, rigatonis, the meatballs, my guilt-free cheesecake. It'll give you an ab routine, a cardio routine, and it gives you the answers in 30 different languages. It's completely free. I didn't want to do it. Everybody's like, I'll do a subscription model. No, I want to give it to people. It's a powerful tool. Now I can help tens of thousands of people, maybe millions of people someday. But I also put in there my experience working with autistic children and adults, asthma, diabetes, MS, and a few other type of health issues people have. So when you call it, you can ask it about certain things.
It's great as kids can do it too.
Yeah, I have this one kid. He has autism, and I have something built in it because I worked with Sylvester Stallone's son when he was a child and an adult, and taught him how to walk on a treadmill, taught about nutrition. So I know what it's like. So I made it so the app can help people that are autistic or autistic caretakers.
I love it.
And the Autism Foundation has it on their website.
Wow.
To help kids.
Wow.
And this is this one kid. He's 12 years old. His name is, what was his name? Tim. And he listens to, his grandfather said, he calls AI Mike 10 times a day. He said he went to the park with his dog. You gave him a workout. You gave his mother a recipe for banana nut pancakes and a really cool omelet. And so his mother is using it for making healthy meals for him. and he calls it his coach. You're his like best friend and coach, and everywhere he goes, he talks to it.
That is so
And
beautiful.
it's so cute, and he's autistic, and he was very thin, and they were trying to find a way to help him. I said, I gotta tell you, give him the hey Mike, just show him pictures of me who I am, and then say you can talk to this man. And eventually, he put him on the phone with me, and he goes, "Hi."
I was going to say you need to meet him.
Oh yeah, well, actually, we're gonna meet him. But he was like,
You need to meet him.
"You're the real Mike." I go, "Yeah, it's me." But that's who you're talking on the phone. It's me. And he talks to me all the time before he goes to bed.
I love it.
And what we're doing is we're collecting the data, so we understand what he needs. What are the things, the topics?
Right, of course, that's what it does. It
we can
gets smarter.
understand- We can understand how to help people further.
Well, no wonder you're such a happy guy. You do a lot for others. And this is,
Oh,
again,
you are too. You're doing so
Seva.
much.
You're doing Seva. And it comes back. This is sort of the whole idea behind karma.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mike, I'm so happy you came on today. You're
It was a
fascinating
pleasure.
and you're exciting and you're high energy. I mean, really, you practice what you preach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. And of course, I want you to come on my show.
Oh, I'd
I will
love
be
that.
starting mid-September to start filming, so I'd love you to come. And
I'm
I
there.
want to interview and ask you a lot of questions.
I'm there. Bye, honey.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Bye.
Satnam.